PD to Practice is a teacher training system within the responsive learning library of online courses that is specifically designed to help ensure that teachers are learning best practice strategies inside of our online courses and transferring that knowledge and applying those strategies into the classroom to improve student learning. In this video, I'm going to show you the PD to Practice Manager and how you, an administrator or a teacher leader who is leading a PLC, can set up those very critical follow-up sessions so that teachers can collaborate on the content of the online course and create an action plan for implementing those strategies in their classroom to improve student learning. Before you watch this video, I recommend that you first view the video that I created in which I give a complete overview of the responsive learning online training system, including the PD to Practice system. That information from that overview will really help you grasp everything that I'm going to show you in this video. So to access that video, I've included a link in the description. You can also subscribe to our channel and click that bell so that you'll receive notifications when I add new videos. From our channel, you'll be able to access a lot of videos, including the overview video that I spoke about earlier. Okay, so let's get started. What you're looking at right now is the administrator dashboard. This is where administrators will get all the information they need about their orders, about the participants. They can run a lot of reports that will help them when they do the classroom walkthroughs and observations. From here, you can get all kinds of information. And then you can also access and create the PD to Practice Manager and create those sessions. There is a video in our library that kind of goes through the whole dashboard for the administrator. So if you need help with the rest of the dashboard, including running reports and such, you can go to our channel and there's a video called the Administrator Dashboard. Now, very first thing when you're going to access the PD to Practice Manager, you're going to click on My Orders. When you click on My Orders, it'll bring up a list of the open orders for your campus or district. So for this overview, we just created a test district. So once you know which one you're going to want to go into, you just click Details. On the order detail page, at the very top, it gives you all the information about the order, and there's a lot of other features here. One way that you can just kind of learn how to use this page is to click on this video, which will give you an overview of how to use this entire page. But for the PD to Practice Manager, what you would do is scroll down to the courses in this order. This is a table of all the courses that are included in the order that you're looking at. And you can see that, well, what I recommend is to kind of get an idea of which courses you want to create PD to follow-up sessions. You want to sort this list by with the most completed courses at the very top. So you can see that Encouraging Creativity has five people have completed this course, and 5 people have completed the first follow-up, and there's 2 follow-up sessions. So you know that this one you don't have to create a new session for. Idealism and Depression in the Gifted. This one has 3 people have completed this course who have not completed the follow-up, and you can see that no follow-up sessions have been created. So this one is a good candidate for creating a new session. But I'm going to show you another one down here, Building Verbal Intelligence, Opening the Doors of Opportunity for Low SES Gifted Students. So this one has 3 people have completed it. Nobody has completed a follow-up session, and 1 session has already been created. So this would tell me that the follow-up session is in the future and nobody has attended that one and completed it. So let's click on that one and we can first look at how to edit one of these already created sessions. Okay, so here is the PD to Practice follow-up session number 1. So you can see it right in here for this course. Now, all the information has already been completed and saved, so it'll all just come up the way it was entered. there is the follow-up session number 1. Here's the date and time of the session, and here's how long that session is expected to last. This is how you set how many credit hours the teacher will receive when they complete this session. Down below is the location of this session, what to bring, and then under invitation message, this is where you would enter the information that you want to share with your teachers that you are inviting. So once you start inviting teachers to the session, they're going to receive an email with all of this information, including the message. Here's the leader's name, leader's phone number, and the leader's email address. Okay, so I want to show you something here that this is a follow-up session number 1. Remember, at the minimum, there are 2 sessions. The first session is about diving deeper into the content, identifying a strategy that they learned in the session that they're going to apply in the classroom. So you can see here's some critical questions and these are required questions for this session. These are questions that are guiding the conversation with the teacher. So what strategies did I learn in the session? What strategy am I going to use before the next follow-up meeting? What outcomes do I expect to see when I apply this strategy? How will I measure these outcomes? And then the last question is, how much time are the teachers going to have to implement that strategy before the next follow-up session? So these are required sessions. These are come right out of the PLC model. Once those questions are the questions that you want to ask. If you want to add another question, you can just click this button and you can add another required question for your teachers to answer. As they go through the session and they answer those questions, the information that they input will be available to the administrator. So once you finish entering everything and you save the session, then you can download the leader's guide. So I'm not going to show you what the leader guide looks like right now because it's a little bit more in depth, but this is the guide that the administrator or the teacher leader leading the PLC would use to guide the teachers through the conversation and the collaboration to answer these questions. I've created a video in which I go through the leader guide, and again, you can access that from our channel. Okay, so in this case, this is an already existing session, so it's already saved. Because it already hasn't happened, we can delete the session if you want from here. You can change anything up above and then save it, but you can also delete the session from here. Down below is part 2. So this is where you can see the teachers who have, these are the teachers who have completed the course and have been invited. So they were invited today to attend this session. If there were other teachers who have just completed this and had not been invited, then you would see their name here and you could then click their name and then click invite. When you click invite, what happens is they will receive an email with all of the information about the session so that they can attend that session. Now, let's just say that you look at this list and there's a teacher that you know should be taking this course, and then you want to include them in this list. You can, down below, you can type in their email address and click invite, and it'll send them an email inviting them to take this course. Okay, let's go back to look at a course that we will want to create a new session for. So we're going to do one for this one right here, Idealism and Depression in the Gifted. So this one, again, has 3 people have completed it. No follow-up sessions have been completed and no follow-up sessions have been created. So we're going to go ahead and create one. So we're going to click here. Okay, so this is a brand new sheet. Before we kind of go through this process, and it's a pretty straightforward process, I want to show you something. So this is follow-up session number 1. You've already looked at that one, right? So we're going to do that again real quick. I'm just going to show you something important to note. Follow-up session number 1 is all about diving deeper into the content and determining what strategies you're going to use and so forth. So those questions are already here, right? If you choose follow-up session number 2, that is the session where they come back together after they've applied those strategies, and it's a completely different set of questions. These questions are centered around reflecting on their experience applying those strategies and discussing what worked, what didn't work, what outcomes uh, did they see and experience once they've applied the strategies, and did it meet the outcomes that they expected, and did the strategy used address critical issues with your students? Did it enhance their learning? And then there's also another really important question: can you continue using this strategy, or do you need additional resources, training, and support? So this is all information that's going to be super valuable for the administrator. And as your teachers are completing these questions, then the administrator will have access to all of this insight into how to better support their teachers. So let's go back. If I was creating this like a follow-up to session, I would complete all of this information just like before. And then once I do that, if I wanted to add another question, I can click here and add a question. And then after I do that, then I can click save, and that would save the session. That's the first thing. Then I would go down to part 2. And in part 2, I would then see all of the people, all the individuals that have completed this course, and I can just select them, the ones that I want to invite, and I can click invite, and that would invite them. And then, as I mentioned earlier at the bottom, if there were some teachers that needed to be invited to take the course, I can just enter their email and click invite. Okay, so that's it for this quick little walkthrough of how to create these sessions. We have some other videos in our channel to talk more in depth about the leader guide and about session number 1, session number 2, and how the teachers are actually going to be answering these questions and recording their responses so that the administrator would have access to them. So all of that is kind of built into the system, and there's videos that show all of those things. We also have other videos in there, such as one, it describes how a principal is using this PD to practice system to create a culture of continuous growth and learning in his campus. And we talk about how he's doing like year 1 and what he plans to do year 2 as well. So that would be really helpful if you're just barely getting started. So there's all kinds of things in there. Just go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and click that bell so that any other videos that we post, you'll get a notification. If you have any other questions, another thing you can do is you can call us at area code 915-532-9965, and one of our support team members will be able to help you and answer any of your questions. Okay, thank you. I hope this was very helpful. Take care.